What's up, James? Oh crap! I need to send a. I don't think she's gonna make it, but let's see. So we're gonna just give people a little bit more time to join. And I know Max was joining us as well, so hopefully he can make it. Um, hey, Meth. I actually have a really small position in futures that I'm waiting for the market to open, but it hasn't opened. I didn't know we were gonna close early, so the market closed on me with that position. Hopefully, I don't get liquidated. It's basically a testing account that I started to see if I could manage to grow a tiny account into a larger account, and that way be able to, maybe give some tips and tricks on what I did to grow, a small account trading futures. It's basically trading only one MES contract. So hopefully that doesn't get liquidated. Let's see, who do we have on? Okay, so Max is here. Hey, Max.
What's up, Poppy? How are you? Can you hear me?
Pretty good. Yeah, man. I can hear you.
Oh, nice, nice,
So,
nice. What's
so I
up?
guess everybody is here. Is the Jeff here, Max?
I just messaged him. Wait, let me see. See? Well, I'm gonna text him.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, no, you can go ahead though.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so who here knows what volume profiles are? Does anybody here use them, or have you heard of them before outside of Team Bull?
volume profiles are super cool. I love watching you use them. I'm trying to learn myself. It's the point of control and the value areas definitely seem like useful insight. Oh,
It's interesting how all these value areas, high volume nodes, and all that shift throughout the day, and they kind of tell you, um, what's going on and things like that. So, first of all, let's go over, what indicator this is on the TradingView platform. So there is one specific indicator on this that I like to use. Well, TradingView has a ton of volume profile indicators. This is my favorite, the periodic volume profile. And I'll be sharing the settings for Thinkorswim, because Thinkorswim is a bit complicated to use with the volume profile. It's a bit weird. But for TradingView, this is my favorite, the periodic volume profile. And I'm going to show you why in a bit. So, you have TradingView on, you can just click on that. And then you go to your settings. And you're going to have something like this. And what's great about this indicator here on TradingView is that you can switch between the day, week, and month. And for intraday, I like to use the daily and weekly. Weekly, I like to use for, bigger support and resistance levels that could, you know, stop a strong move or a strong trend going up or down. Webull currently, I believe, does not support using this indicator. I actually have Webull, and the only possible way I see Webull allowing that indicator is on the website. Otherwise, I don't think they would use it on the app or on the this desktop version. So currently, I would recommend that you try using it on like TradingView or Thinkorswim to like practice reading the volume profiles. So
Interactive Brokers also allows this. If you right click on a chart, it's the volume histogram, and that'll pull up a similar volume profile on your it works on both the underlying for like futures as well as like the options contract charts.
Awesome, Max. Thank you for that. And that's why I like having you on board.
Love it.
Okay, so for the settings on TradingView, this is pretty much all I do. You know, you can move this to like, I don't know, maybe 300. It's really up to you, you know, your preferences. Well, I think I had it way too much. I think it was like 150. You can see how instead of like having more of a smoother line, it gets like a bit more a little bit more bumpy. And if you don't like that, you can like bring it all the way to like 70, and it'll give you like, I don't know, 15 bars at most on like, nope, it was on the 30, I think. 30. Oh. So like if you don't like using so many bars, you can use less, and you could just like look at this right here. It's really up to you, you know, what you like. Personally, I like having, you know, this a little bit higher, so I can see like a little bit better what's going on intraday. So first of all, let's start with the parts of the volume profile. What makes a volume profile? So, and I only look at, well, this is not going to be very helpful. Let's switch to the weekly volume profile. Okay, I guess this will work for now. So on the volume profiles, I look at 3 or 4 main things, which is, and let me get my drawing tools. I could get the drawing tools here, the brush, and let me turn off the magnet. So with the volume profile, there are 4 things that I like to watch as far as what makes the volume profile. So this right here is called the point of control. This is where 70% of the trading inside of this value area happen. So the value area is from this blue line to this blue line. And that's basically the most important price zone for the session, for like this weekly session. Have in mind that this is a weekly volume profile. We can always switch it to a daily, but we're just using this so we can see a little bit better. So we get the point of control where 70% of the trading happens. You can see how it acts as support and resistance multiple times. On this specific week, it acted more as support. And then we have the value area low, which is this right here, which oftentimes also acts as support and resistance. And then we have the value area high, which is this blue line right here. So we have the value area high, point of control, value area low, and the whole value area. Okay, so we have that. Now, we're gonna go look at something else. We're gonna go look at the high volume nodes and low volume nodes. So this peak right here in the volume profile, this right here is a high volume node. And this right here, and this are low volume nodes. So high volume nodes are the peaks, and low volume nodes are the, how could we call these, Max?
Troughs,
The what? Say it again?
like a trough, the
Yeah,
peaks
like
in
the
the trough.
trough. Yeah, we could call them that. So the peaks are the high volume nodes, and the troughs are the low volume nodes. And okay, so if you need some time to take notes on that, just make sure you write that down, because we're gonna use it later on the next few sessions, maybe even today. So make sure you take notes on that so you don't forget what is what. Or you need to take pictures or whatever, just do whatever you need to do.
How about valley? Peaks, valley, trough.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I guess we could call it a valley.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You got the idea. I like it.
So we could call this a valley as well. So when it comes to the whole volume profile, it's all about basically price action working with the volume profiles. Where did the blue lines come from? The blue lines is basically where 70% of the trading for the day happens. So 70% of the trading for this session happened between these blue lines right here. And then 70% of the trading inside of the that's the weekly volume profile. Yes, this is the weekly volume profile. So the value area shows 70% of the trading for the session. And the point of control basically shows 70% of the trading inside of the value area. Any questions on this? Okay, so basically, when it comes to volume profiles, you want to use them along with price action to find your support and resistance levels. So a way to see the volume profiles is that buyers or sellers see the high volume nodes as fair price. So this right here, this is the fair price for either buyers or sellers. We don't know for who until we see the moves happen. Of course, I think this was caused by, was this CPI, Max, on the 12th? Or what was this?
Thursday.
Yeah. That's yeah, I believe so.
So
yeah.
So when we have events like CPI and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to tell where the price is going to go. So this is not a 100% win rate strategy using the volume profiles. Like, nothing else is 100%. But I think we could use this to gauge where the next move can happen. And Max and me have seen this thing just work beautifully multiple times. Like, it's just we try to predict a move based on the volume profiles, and oftentimes it works perfectly. Sometimes it doesn't work. But what I like about using the volume profiles is that we can focus on the larger moves. So try to take big wins and smaller losses based on just this the value area, the point of control, the value area low, value area high. So this is what I like about the volume profile. So when we see in the volume profile a point of control form you can see how, you know, buyers and sellers start basically chopping the price. And once you see a chop, you know, you start seeing structures form. So there's different structures in the volume profiles. So you can see on this point of control, we have this structure form right here. And then we have another structure form up here. While it's a bit complicated to see, you can see how the structure form right here. And then, so you can see how these work pretty well throughout the week. And when you have price get near the point of control, you know, price starts to get choppy. And when it goes outside, you start seeing more fluid moves. Comes back in, chop, goes up, still inside, you know, still chop. But when you see it break out, you start seeing some really nice fluent moves, some really smooth moves like this right here. And once you reach the value area high, you can see how price start chopping again. And we have to go back in time basically and try to find why price is chopping here. What did the previous volume profile show us? But we're going to see that later on. So you can see how we come back down, you know, we test this zone basically that was made near the point of control, and we bounce back up. We get near the high value area and we come back down. We test again the zone, jump again, and start chopping, come back down, chop, 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 you know. And once we come back down, we see the most violent choppy moves. But once we break, start seeing a more fluid price action. Go back again. You use the daily volume profile intraday and then the weekly for your analysis. I use the daily, the weekly, and the monthly.
Yep.
I like to having.
Oh, it's on a minute, bro. Legit
Oh.
that minute.
Who's that?
Bon, is it possible to show how the that volume profile progressed over time? Can you put periodic volume profiles just for a smaller segment to show like how that point of control developed? Like
Sure.
that chop. Like
like we did the other day.
Yeah, so like how you have that zone marked out, the initial like
definitely.
chop, and
So
then show how into that big move, how the point of control developed.
Sure. I'm gonna draw multiple point of controls. So let's turn off this right here. And this is another tool that you can use. I'm not sure if Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers have this. I think it's called an anchored volume profile max. I'm not sure if they have.
Yeah, perfect. I'm not sure. I don't use this one enough, but I really like it in TradingView. This is one of the
So
tools I love.
this is that tool that Max is talking about, the fixed range volume profile, and you can get it on TradingView. I believe it's here. Yeah. So you go to this little tab right here where you can select long position, short position. Just click that and it'll give you like the option to draw your own point of control from one point to another. So you can basically see the point of control form right here. You can see how it's going to expand here probably on this chop. So you can see how the point of control moved a little bit, but the value area high and value area low completely blasted through, you know, what the structure that we previously had. And then once you see price settle again, you're going to have another, you know, structure form. And then you're going to have another structure form. So this is why I say that, you know, the market is formed by structures.
And like you can see that like in that you have the consolidation and then you have that big explosive move. But it's kind of cool in the third volume profile that you've drawn there. It's like the value area low of that volume profile tests the point of control of the
Mhm.
second. So like you see how the point of
Yes,
control
right
in
here.
that big move, yeah, exactly. That becomes the value area low of that third volume profile. I just think that's
Mhm.
so interesting.
Correct, 100%. You can see how previous, and this is what I was talking about earlier, that we were going to see later on the next few lessons, that previous point of controls, or value area highs or value area lows can form support or resistance for the next few days and kind of give us, you know, or basically narrow the possibilities of what could happen around those levels, based on previous price action and previous volume profiles. So you can see how this value area on this move basically turned into point of control. And then you can see how basically this little zone here formed a resistance for the next structure, which is this right here. You have to match the volume profile zones to the zones with more normal volume. So there you have pre-market and aftermarket without volume. Oh, well, you can use this pre-market or just regular trading hours. This is just to show you show y'all an example of how you can use it. Like I said, you can use this on after hours, pre-market, or regular hours. You can switch to regular hours, and you're gonna see how these volume profiles work. Okay, so now let's switch over to our indicator, and let me delete all these drawings. Well, actually, you can keep those. You can see how this structure that formed pre-market worked pretty well during market hours. And let's switch this to the daily. Okay. So for example here, you have a structure that formed on Wednesday. This whole volume profile is Wednesday. You can see how before market closed, we started moving up. And we closed, I'm not sure exactly where we closed, but around here. And pre-market, we had some tremendous force. I'm not sure what this was. I think it was CPI for Thursday. We had a massive drop, which that was capped at point of control. So you can see how previous day point of control acted as support, and we bounced from there. And we chopped a lot, and we came into Friday, and I believe this was when Tesla reported. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. This was when Tesla reported the price drop on most of its EV vehicles. Well, that's all they produce, right? EV vehicles. But they announced the price drop, and Tesla dropped like 5% or so. We had a tremendous drop, and once again, this little zone right here, which is basically this here. We could probably take a little bit lower where it matches the price right there. So you can see basically this zone right here acted as support again, which was this point of control from Wednesday. So you can see how point of controls can be very, very powerful tools to use on the next coming sessions. You can see how this point of control here acted as support multiple times until broken. Any questions? Well, it depends, James. For example, uh, let's see. Okay, for example, this point of control here. You can see how it was breached multiple times, right? So when I see a
Mm.
point of control be breached like this, I don't like to use it much unless, you know, this is telling me something. Okay, so like, for example, this is telling me that this point of control is still in play. Why? Because we just had recent reaction to this here. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this right here. And let's see, okay, so this point of control was basically violated by price action right here. So I would probably take my zone a little bit deeper into value area low. And if you see down here, you can see how as we exit the value area on this point of control right here, we exit the value area, and let me mark this. As soon as we start this exit, the volume profiles start to die off. So
Okay.
what is that telling me? So this is telling me that price is seen as unfair.
Oh.
So for me, that's telling me that price is seen as unfair unless I see, you know, something like this and a high volume profile. I mean, a high volume node form right here to support that move.
Mm-hmm.
But we did
Okay.
not see any development of that high volume node. So that's telling me that there's a possibility that sellers see this price as unfair and buyers might step in. Because if we look right here, we had no high volume node. But if we look over here, we had a high volume node. So what is that telling me? That previously we had a lot of interest because this trend currently is moving down. So for me, the momentum is, you know, to the downside right here. Correct? But over here, you know, we had the price moving up and we had a high volume node here. But here, the volume, I mean, the momentum is down and we don't have a high volume node. So what is that telling me? You know, sellers are seeing that price as unfair. So sellers might not be interested in selling here. And it's all happening, you know, at a previous high volume node where we had a, you know, pretty strong rejection in the past. And it's happening outside of the point of control as well. And let's draw like a little, let me see if I can go to a 2-minute. Let's try to draw a little volume profile here, see what it shows. Let's take it from here to here. So you can see how the point of control never switched lower. It just maintained basically a pretty balanced state here in this chop.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw very little trading happen like over here. That's why you see the sudden changes in trend from a downtrend to a uptrend, you know. And once you see something like that, you can start drawing a structure basically. So let's hide the indicator and let's delete all of our drawings, remove drawings. So you can see here that we formed a structure. We had, you know, basically the trend gets stopped, goes up, gets stopped again, goes up. It, you know, tries to continue the trend, but we see this here, and let me draw it. you can see how basically on this drop down here, we had some pretty good volume pickup. So, okay, so the volume picked up, you know, the sellers were shaken out here. We go up, we come down again, and this confirms the structure right here. So, if you're like a what's it called? Like a trend line trader or whatever, you could draw like your trend line right here. Or you could take it from here. I'm not sure where you guys would take it from. But you could draw your trend lines, and you know, this is basically confirming that you have a structure forming, and you know, you have your structure between 39.21 and 39.07. Once you see the breakout, you can see how this acts as support, and you start moving up from there. Of course, you know, we have the chop. If you're trading 0 DTE positions, you know, you'll probably have a lot of trouble with this chop. So personally, I prefer, you know, taking next day contracts or trade futures, stuff like that. Kevin, do you use naked point of control BPOC as a target, break and retest of POC to take positions long? Not really, no. I don't necessarily go just based on point of control. It really comes down to your style of trading. If you're a scalper, I mean, you could probably scalp from the point of control. But me personally, I don't like scalping based on that. I'm more of a day trader, so I look for like a good 10 or 20 point move for my trades. Do you use it to draw supply and demand? Yes, Jorge, I do use volume profiles to draw supply and demand. I like to use them, of course, you know, to find the structures in the market and see if the volume profile is basically, you know, showing me the structure. So you can see here, you know, the structure formed between the value area low, which was approximately where we had the line drawn out, and the point of control. So this here is the structure that formed. And you can see price confirming the structure, because if you're a pattern trader, you can see how we have a head and shoulders here. And I mean, I did not see the head and shoulders, but I did see the structure form, you know, after this. So we had, you know, basically sellers get stopped 1 time, 2 times. Then we had the shakeout of, you know, possible buyers. Covered, came back down. We had, you know, buyers load up here. We had also a volume increase. You can see here, and here how volume increased, and it's having like a small volume uptrend right here. So this to me is confirming that buyers are probably stepping in. But playing 0 DTE positions on this, you know, of course, 0 DTEs we all know has its risk. So we could risk IB crushes in here. Give me 1 second. From this volume profile, do you use and do you take the break and retest of the songs? Oh, sorry, Jorge, I think I missed that question. But yes, I like to take break and retest after, you know, the structure has been broken. Sometimes I like to take it a bit early. It really depends on how I'm feeling. From this volume profile too, how do you conclude long or short signals for your trade? Mohammed, so basically I try to find structures in the market. I try to find structures. I try to find, you know, things like this, like the auction ending for the move. So like this is telling me that the auction is ending and there's very little trading going on. So what I do is I go back and see what happened over here. So you can see how basically resistance turns support happened right here. And this is why we had this tremendous move to the upside. And in simple terms of price action, this was pretty easy to spot. But once you have something like the volume profiles confirm that, it's basically a double A, triple A, I don't know, A plus, because the volume profiles are non-lagging. The volume profiles develop as orders are sent in to like buy or sell positions. Any other questions? And is this easy to understand? You guys want me to go over anything that we just went over before we go into the next few things? Can you give us an example for your trade? Let's see. So I actually took this trade on futures earlier. I think it was last night or today. Actually, I think I took it twice. And I used the weekly point of control. How long during the day does it take for the point to appear? It forms like as soon as the market opens, the point of control forms, but I like to give it like at least 1 hour for it to develop a little bit more and tell me more of what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the trade that I took, but I just need for the other volume profile to show up. Here it is. Okay, so I actually took 2 trades. One last night, I think I showed Max. I was taking those trades on the small account that I'm trying to build up. So I took this trade here, this point of control, this high value area re-entry. So we basically broke, came back down, re-entered, and I took this short. I think I took like 3.5 point profits on an MES contract on a mini or micro. I don't even know how it's called. And I did it because I saw how the high value area for the week was right here. So I try to look for, the zone in this area. And, we got this little zone right here. TOS volume profile looks, yeah, I know, Jorge. The volume profiles on TOS are absolutely terrible. They're not very aesthetic. And this is why I like TradingView. The indicators are really, really nice. But yeah, this is one trade that I took based on the volume profiles. I saw a break, came back down, it came inside the zone, and then I saw this big momentum to the downside. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this trade and have a stop. And let me zoom in. So I took this trade here and had a stop above this candle. So I think I entered around here, 420.25, and had like a stop around 4:022. So I thought that was pretty good. So it was a 2-point stop loss for a possible 3-point take profit. So I saw this as a good opportunity to grow a tiny account. And I took this trade over here as well today. On the touch of this, it touched the zone again. It came back to point of control and took that trade again. And then I took another trade over here on this basically shakeout and this little structure that formed right here. So you can see how a little this is not necessarily trade it with the volume profiles, but I mean you could probably use it as well. Do you use funded account to trade ES Mini? I tried the Apex. How's it called? Evaluation, but I didn't like it. I feel like it was limiting my trading, so I stopped using it. And I've had a live account on TradeObate for quite a while now, like a larger account. And I just made a smaller account a few days ago just to test how difficult it was to, grow a $100 or $200 account and see if I can get any, tips or ideas for, the team to use and try to build their own accounts. But I took this trade based on, the break. It shook out the sellers. I mean the buyers. I'm sorry. Came back here, and once this candle closed outside, I took my entry short, and I'm currently stuck on that because I didn't know the market closed. Futures market closed early today, so hopefully that doesn't liquidate me. It's showing them $40 in profits, so we'll see. Any questions, comments, concerns from anybody? I don't know how many people we have on the. Oh, we have 11 participants.
Looks awesome. I'm enjoying this very much.
Awesome. I know Jeff is here, Max.
Yeah, that's Kevin.
I know
Doxing your brother.
Oh, that's Kevin Lee. Cool. Yes, Matt, this is recorded.
What's up, brother?
So, Kevin,
Yes.
so weekly POCs and the normal B profile, 5 minutes for entries and exits. Well, yeah, you could use that. The weekly point of controls basically show you where we could have, the stronger moves ahead to. But of course, you need to check on the point of control, if there's any, I'm sorry, not the point of control. You need to check on the volume profiles if there is any major levels that we should be concerned from past, point of controls or high volume nodes or stuff like that. So don't go just based on one volume profile. It's best if you use, multiple volume profiles. Like, let's go to the monthly.
Givening, gavening, wavening.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. That noise you're muted. I was spit silence.
So you can see how here, we are touching a tremendous zone right here. Like, this is a huge zone. This is part of why I took some short entries, short swings, puts. I mean long puts, I'm sorry. And if we, break this level and retest, or if we just break with so much strength, that's gonna stop me out. But it's really good to check previous zones to see, what's going on, previous volume profiles. You can see how this acts as, pretty strong resistance in the past. Yes, well, we did break it in the past. Currently, it's not giving me any signs of a possible break to the upside. But, only time will tell.
I saw the comment about not being able to use these during live trades because they're constantly changing, but I think this provides a good example of where that can, like, live update can provide context, because I noticed that, like, at this zone that you've just been pointing out, you can see in the current volume profile that as we move up, that the volume profile is kind of like tapering off at
Mm-hmm.
the end, which shows like a reducing, like a reduction in the market's interest to trade as we approach that price.
Correct.
It kind of like, as you were saying, could be indicative that the market is like not wanting to test at this point where it looks like we previously fell right off, like
Mm-hmm.
with force. And so
Correct.
that seems to be like confirming the significance of that zone. I just thought
Mhm.
that was interesting because like in our trades that like taken with you based on some of these ideas, seeing that like tapering of the volume profile can be useful to see if the market is increasing in interest, like if it was going up as we approach that zone, or decreasing in whether we want to be participating or like wait for the market to make the move and then join with.
Join with, sorry, Max, I think you.
Like to like join with the flow of the market after like it gets that rejection, for example, like you were
Mhm.
saying, because you've like got that boundary right there.
Correct. Yes, you're 100% correct, Max. And just, and just because we had a rejection here, or one or two rejections, of course, it doesn't mean we're gonna go down. I mean, we haven't seen the volume profiles fade like, like over here. Over here, we had this little high volume node, and we had a sudden fade. I mean, we may have like another high volume node and then have like a complete fade again, like over here. But like I said, the best way to see that is once it happens, and not try to crap and not try to guess most of our trades until we see things happen. For example, yes, you can use this with SPY as well. Actually, me and Max and Ghost were talking about it. But on ES and on SPY, the volume profiles are going to be pretty much the same. I do not recommend using it in SPX because the volume is not going to be there to help you. So I would recommend using it on SPY and ES, and maybe like stocks like Apple, Amazon, Tesla. I like to use it on other stocks like the big tech stocks. It really comes down to what you like to use it on. What do you mean? How does it translate to SPY? Math. For example, if the volume profile, if we break right now 407 level, we go straight to 400. Jorge, are you talking about like the daily volume profiles? Let's see. So we break 407 straight to 4,000. I mean, there's a possibility, yes. We have a pretty strong support form right here. So I mean, it's a possibility, but I wouldn't take a short position after we already tested this. So we're probably most likely going to have a small bounce, because if we take intraday levels here, we have a little zone form right here. So we already had a rejection without touching. So it's a possibility that we, have a move to the upside. And that's why it's really important to, look at what happened in the past, along with, you know, the volume profiles, to see where we might find, you know, strong levels of support and resistance. Like you can see how this zone matches the the low value area. And you can see how this zone over here matches the, you know, value area high. So, you know, it's really important for us to use past volume profiles to gauge where the move may happen. And of course, use price action and stuff like that. Okay, how long has it been? How long have we been recording? I want to keep these at 1 hour, because I want to do 3 sessions with y'all. So I'm going to have to write your names down. That way I can send you the invite link next week again. I was planning to do it 1 month, 1 lesson per month, but I think we're just gonna try to just finish it up these next few weeks. We're gonna have a total of 3 to 4 lessons, 48 minutes. Yeah, I think it's getting close to the 1 hour mark. So I plan to do 3 lessons with y'all. I want to show you everything I know about the volume profiles and how I use them. And for the next lesson, I'm going to show you, you know, how to use the volume profiles based on where we opened. For example, here, you know, the price close up there, but I don't care about the price closing up there. I care about where this opened. This opened very, very high and very close to the point of control. I mean, very far from the point of control. So we opened far from the point of control. And when this happens, we can use either the point of control or the value area low as support. Or let's say, you know, this doesn't happen, but it happens over here. Let's say the point of control opens up right here. We have the high value area, the low value, no, yes, I'm sorry. The high value area here and the low value area over here. We have price, you know, open right here. We see it do this. Now it goes up to point of control and rejects. So I'm going to try and show you guys how I use the point of control and the value areas based on where price opens compared to the previous volume profile. Does that make sense? Yes, that's correct, Jorge. So we're gonna be going over that. I'm gonna have to get that lesson ready for y'all. Hopefully, you know, this was a really helpful lesson for all, and hopefully y'all can use some of this information to mix it into your style of trading. And I think that's all for now. I'm gonna stop recording, but I'm not gonna stop the class yet. Pause recording, stop